Okay, I think I should start this because it was my idea.
It was your idea.
Right. And
You're Joe.
I'm
And
and
I'm
you're Steve.
Yes.
Okay.
So go ahead and start.
Thanks. Shooting the breeze. That's what we're going to call this program because we can't really say shooting the right because the FCC will come after us.
Right. It's a small station. We don't want to close it down.
Right. It's basically a program that we kind of patched together from the pages of the Casco Bay Breeze newspaper, which was published 1901 or 1917 for the islands and for summer tourists and for the people who lived here year-round.
And I'm sure it was filled with amazing stories and fantastic writing. Is that correct?
Probably it was more filled, actually, ads. And then there were other ads. And then there were funnier ads. But, like Facebook and Google and everybody else, the money's in the ad.
Right. This was also a registry of hotels and guests.
Right.
So the idea was that if you needed to find your uncle and what island and what hotel he was in, the best chance you had was to get one of these newspapers and look at it as if it was, a social media kind of thing. You basically had a chance of finding them because not every hotel was represented.
Exactly. The hotels that were represented are those that were willing to pay for an ad. And so if you were either too successful and didn't need the ads or too poor and couldn't pay for the ad, you were out of luck.
It's that middle ground.
And the articles could be timely or not timely. They tended to be very local based. There was very little about World War I that was covered, or anything happening in Europe, or actually anything happening outside of Casco Bay. However, if you wanted to know who danced with whom on Saturday night at the necktie, handkerchief dance at Peaks Island House, we got that information.
Wow. All right. Well, how about we get started?
Okay, here we go.
The following editorial is brought to you by Dow and Pinkman Fire Insurance, 35 Exchange Street, Portland, Maine. Dwellings, cottages, hotels, and seaside properties insured in the leading companies. Dow and Pinkman, give us a call before it's too late. See us for our July 4th special. Okay, take it away.
So this editorial was in the Casco Bay Breeze, July 2nd, 1914, and it's entitled, A Safe and Sane Fourth. Many people seem to think that the idea of a, quote, safe and sane fourth, unquote, has been run into the ground somewhat during the last few years. It is, however, a phrase that, in our opinion, cannot be too much emphasized and expatiated upon. With the advancing protest against the useless injury to life and limb that was too often the result of the Old Fourth, many restrictions have been made upon the sale of dangerous explosives, and the danger in this respect is, while still present to an alarming degree, nevertheless continually abating. There is, however, one little emphasized feature of even the present Fourth against which we should like to warn the residents of Casco Bay, and which involves one of the most serious and constant dangers to life and property to be met with here. That is fire. F-I-R-E. Last year on Shabig, a fire was started during the course of the Fourth, and though discovered early and vigorously fought, was only put out after much damage had been done. The grass at this time of year is dry and burns like so much tinder. Roots of trees will burn and smolder beneath the ground and burst out into flame again when least expected. The majority of the cottages in the bay are of frame construction, easy prey for the flames, and the methods of fire protection are of the most primitive kind. If a fire should get once started with a strong wind blowing it, it would sweep a whole island. Don't put us down as opposed to a celebration of the birth of our country. We're just as patriotic as anyone, and just as fond of setting off skyrockets and Roman candles. But we're careful how we do it.
The next segment is brought to you by Greenwood Garden, Peaks Island. Opens June 21st. Old-fashioned one-ring circus. Sabrakia's concert band. Midway with 100 attractions. Circle swing. Gypsy camp. Penny theater. And Theater des Illusions.
The 4th at Peaks. Enormous gathering of holiday visitors. Balloon ascensions, boat races, and ball games. Probably one of the largest crowds in the history of Peaks Island assembled on the 4th, every boat bringing her full complement, until late in the day when nearly 25,000 people at least were scattered over the island. The interest centered mostly on the balloon ascensions at about 1 p.m., the motorboat races at 2:30, and the Gem Theater performance in the afternoon and evening, many people being obliged to stand for lack of seats. Over 350 transients were taken to dinner at the Peaks Island House, and the other hotels and smaller houses had all they could do. The day was an ideal one, cool and comfortable, yet with plenty of sunshine. Towards evening, a damp sou'wester set in, however, which detracted a little from the enjoyment of the fireworks, a fine display of which had been provided. There were several minor accidents due to the explosion of firearms in the crowd, but nothing serious occurred to mar the day.
Well, I think that one should definitely be brought to you by James A. Martin Undertaker, he's a graduate of embalming, and there's a lady in attendance in the office. 123 Exchange Street, Portland. And the telephone number, 137-2. We need an ad for this next one, so go ahead and pick an ad.
Okay, let's see. Don't destroy your stomach. Drink Old Gristmill wheat coffee, the best substitute. Cut out this advertisement, mail to Old Gristmill, Boston, Massachusetts, and we will mail you a sample of Old Gristmill wheat coffee free.
I bet they will. It sounds horrible. Okay, let's move on. Summer organ concerts. On July the 5th, at Portland City Hall, the summer organ concerts commenced. These concerts are held especially for the summer tourists who visit the island and vicinity. The organ, which is considered among the finest in the world, and of the first 5 in respect to size, is played by Mr. Will C. McFarlane, America's premier organist. The concerts are held daily, excepting Saturday and Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. Last year, these concerts were very popular, many hundred people enjoying them daily. Mr. McFarlane, upon written request, if possible, plays selections asked for on the date mentioned in the request. A unique feature of these concerts is that they are municipal. A commission of 3 prominent men are selected to serve without remuneration. The proposition is not to make money, but to give all appreciators of good music an hour of unparalleled musical uplift. No person should leave the bay without hearing Mr. McFarlane render their favorite selections on this beautiful toned instrument.
Yeah, besides talking about things that you could do in Portland or on Peaks Island, often there was information about other things, including cooking.
So actually, let's jump in with an ad then. The headline says, Constipation, best for your bowels. Castorettes, candy cathartic, they work while you sleep. Pleasant, palatable, potent, and taste good. Guaranteed to cure or your money back. Sterling Remedy Company, Chicago or New York. Annual sales, 10 million boxes. Can you believe that? Okay.
All they need is to just eat some rhubarb.
Well, then let's hear it.
Baked rhubarb. Baking rhubarb requires less sugar than is necessary when stewing. Peel the stalks, selecting red rhubarb only. Cut into inch lengths and place in a stone crock. Add 1 part of sugar to 2 parts of the fruit, unless you like it very sweet. Then add nearly half and half. Arrange the fruit and sugar in layers. Use no water. Stand the crock in a pan of hot water, cover, and set in the oven, and bake until the pieces are clear. This may be used for a meringue by filling a shell of good, light pastry, covering the top of the fruit with a meringue, and coloring a delicate brown in the oven.
Okay, I think we're just about out of time. We've been digging and sifting and looking for stuff, and quite frankly, we're exhausted. So let's end with an ad here. The Mathis Peaks Island Skating Rink has scored notable triumph. It's Portland's premier summer attraction, open all day. Take Casco Bay Company's boats from Custom House Wharf. Admission is 10 cents or Casco Bay Company's coupon. Women's skates are 15 cents. Men's skates are 25 cents because they're obviously bigger. I guess that's why they do that. Okay, I think that probably wraps it up for today. Anything we need to say before we go?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what the Casco Bay Breeze editor wrote back in 1904. Everyone have a safe and sane July 4th.
And don't set the island on fire.
And as they say in the Casco Bay Breeze for all advertisers,
only hotels patronizing the Breeze are represented. If you are not listed, don't blame us.